I can be an extrovert, and I'm a serial networker. And the moment I realize it's not what you know, it's who you know. And this was told to me almost months and months before I arrived on the shores of Adelaide. So I actually started my homework 2 years before I arrived, where I looked up every theatre company, every arts organization in Adelaide, reached out to them, connected, and the moment I landed, I networked. And somebody in the arts industry says, every time I open your LinkedIn, you're meeting more people than I know in 5 years. And that's just, I said, well, I started 2 years early, and I'm not wasting any time because I'm not young anymore. Now I'm not 19 arriving in Cape Town with a suitcase. I am 38 arriving in Adelaide with 2 children and a husband. And we really need to get our footing for the survival of our children. The moment migrants arrive, most migrants come with whatever savings they have, which run out very quickly because of the exchange rate, and you just have to start earning whatever you can just to pay the bills, the rent, the groceries, the electricity, the vehicle, every time you go to Kmart. So there's lots of bills to be paid, and bills are weekly or monthly. This expectation, oh, volunteer. Volunteering is the way to get in. Okay, volunteering is great if you have economic stability. If you don't have economic stability, expecting a newly arrived migrant to volunteer seemed to me the equivalent of expecting a drowning man to sing an opera. And yet, nobody spoke about that. Nobody touched that. Like, how can migrants volunteer? There were nights I couldn't sleep because I didn't know when the next income was going to come. As soon as I arrived, I started setting up the same company I had in Sri Lanka or in Adelaide, a puppet theatre company. I connected with fellow artists, community groups, started performing anywhere and everywhere I could. And that was a lot of fun, and it gave me a lot of joy. But very quickly I realized that the rate artists are paid in Adelaide is surprisingly lower than the rates I paid my actors in Colombo. So that wasn't going to be a sustainable lifestyle for me or my family. And this quick realization, okay, nobody can make a living being an artist here. And that was also confusing because in a place like Sri Lanka, we blame it on not having a formal industry. And here, in the festival state, the fact that artists can't make a living doing art it confounded me because the numbers just don't add up. I had to very quickly make the choice, like my partner, that we have to find work, whatever work that's available, and we got to do it. So I did everything that migrants do. I did agency work, OZAsia, workshops, performances, trainings, temp work as receptionists, lots and lots of bits and pieces just to keep things ticking over, and of course volunteering too. And I want to say what really kept my sanity afloat was the amount of people who stepped up to the plate to help. I had no shame in telling everyone, hi, we're new, we're migrants, we are looking for work. If you have anything, or if you know of anyone who needs anyone, please let us know. I would tell it to the person next to me on the road. I would tell it to the person next to me on the bus. I would go to professional networking events and tell people. I would tell it to all the parents in school. And it was heartwarming, the response, especially from the school community of parents who rocked up, who started sharing connections, people I met through professional networking, Sri Lankan migrants who had banded together and weaponized WhatsApp to ensure everybody found jobs as fast as possible. And again, it was baffling to me that we have so much technology and yet getting an interview seems almost impossible. And there's a variety of reasons for that, but I really feel like, shouldn't this be simpler now? So to my luck, 8 months in, I went for an interview at the South Australian Parliament to be the office manager for a member of Legislative Council, Honourable Mira El-Danawi, and by that time it was the brutal end of an 8-month disappointing job hunt where I questioned all my life choices and was on the verge of telling my partner, right, let us write this off as hopeless losses. We'll probably never recover financially from it, but it's time to go back to Sri Lanka and pick up our pieces and just start living life the best we can, and we'll homeschool our children, whatever. And when I went to this interview, again, my sense of self was so shaken by the useless job hunt process that I've been through, and the bureaucracy and the red tape. Even though I felt a real connection to Mira, I didn't trust myself. And I came home and I was telling, before I came home, I remember literally stepping out of the parliament and telling my partner, I think it went well, but I can't tell anymore. And to my greatest surprise, I got the job. And now I've been in the role for over 2.5 months, and I'm extremely grateful that someone like Mira, probably because of her own experience arriving in this country 13 years ago as a migrant and then ending up at the South Australian Parliament, maybe something in my journey connected with her. And I was extremely grateful for her for seeing the 98% I could do versus focusing on the 2% I couldn't do.